chão, eu desci, vou até o chão, eu desci, vou até o chão, vou até o chão, vou até o chão, desci, vou até o chão, desci, vou até o chão, eu desci, vou até o chão, vou até o chão, vou até o chão.
Peace, family, QI critical thinking in the building. Let me go ahead and, I'm going to try to do this the normal way. Yes. Once again, I'm having to do something that's not of my normal nature. Because my dear VS is over there not only using me and my story for content, but as well, she's changing the narrative. And one of the things that, like, I don't like to do this. I'm a private person. I don't really feel comfortable a lot of times discussing things about like my personal life, and which is nothing to hide or anything like that. It's just that being a private person, I'm just not used to sharing that all the time. So, but one of the things that I'm looking at is, if somebody's going to talk about you and tell a story about you, it should be you. So I should be the person that's, monetizing, that's telling my own personal story, because at least it will be told the right way. Because over there, she's telling, she's saying something that's totally inaccurate. And I think I'm gonna be honest with you in this situation, because like during the whole time that, I was trying to explain it to her, because she doesn't understand. And me being, like the time that I've dealt with her, I know that when she gets something in her head, it's like, it is hard to tell her anything differently. She's like, she's bullheaded, and you can explain, but it's like, she won't open up and listen to see where she's wrong about things. So I guess, this would be more or less for, you all than it would be for her. But I wanted to come on, and like every time there's something said, I'm gonna come on and I'm pretty much gonna tell my truth or my story. Because I noticed that before, when I wasn't, it was like people were running with these things, and and regardless, it wasn't stopping. It wasn't stopping. So let me go ahead and pretty much I want to just speak to everybody in the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get started. I like to say shout out to Drunk Again Meek in the building. Thank you for coming. Great moderator. I'm glad you're here, Nija. Shout out to Love Ya in the building. There's my girl Retro Babe in the building. Reloaded. I love you. All right. Black Eye Raven Love John in the building. Jay Dunn on the ones and twos in the building. Hey, Shorty C in the building. One of the best moderators, one of my great moderators, the real Queen Roy to lives in the building. Hello. Christina Evans in the building. Hello. Miss B-Town Hester in the building. And there's another one of my great moderators and great inspirations, Melissa Ultra in the building. And yes, there's my boy Mad Vibes in the building. Mad Vibes, I was trying to get back with y'all earlier, but I'm gonna try later. If y'all on, I'm gonna come on. I'll explain later. I don't want to explain now, but thank you for being in the building, Vibes. All right. So basically this is what it is. Okay. VS, I didn't even listen to all of the live stream. I just saw the title. So I might miss some things, but I'm just gonna tell the truth basically the way it is, okay? Because I do remember the situation. I do remember trying to explain it to her and everything. Here's the thing. Let me start from the beginning. Before my aunt passed, I was doing very well. I was founder of my own founder of my own nonprofit, in which I'm still the founder, but you know, my vice president is running it instead of me. Because I don't have the time to go back and forth and do it. So thank God to my vice president who's doing a great job. Okay. And then I was a contract employee for a job that's located in Virginia. Okay. And what a contract employee is I'm not on regular payroll. I have certifications. It's in the mental health field. I have a lot of certifications that was given pretty much by them. And I don't have to just work per se for this company. But I like working for this company because they're the top, they're the main echelon. They're the top, you know, people of the mental health industry. Therefore, you know, there's more work available, you know, through them, and they're very accredited. But I can work with my certifications. If anyone were to call, you know, it's my choice. I can say yay or nay. If they call and they say, I got this, I need you to do it, it's yay or nay. Okay. So that's what a contract employee is. I'm not like a regular payroll employee. I'm certified. It's like I work for myself, and they basically call and say, hey, can you do this? And if I can, you know, I can say yes. If I say no, there's no consequences. I don't have to report. I don't have to report or anything, and it works, and I love it. Okay. And then also, I'm an artist. I'm a fine artist, as well as I'm a graphic designer, commercial art, media artist. Okay. And I was self-employed. I'm self-employed. I own my own business. And at that time, before my aunt died, I was doing great. And even to the point where I was upgrading my business. I had bought my most of the equipment that I needed and things of that nature. So after, you know, like all of these things happened, it's like I put everything on pause because I had to focus on life. I had to focus on my family, and I had to, you know, my family. And it was no choice of my own. Okay. So like I thought that, you know, like grief made me think very unclearly. So when everything first happened, it's like I didn't know that it was going to be that long term. So like it wasn't a decision that I made to put everything on pause. It's just gradually the time just kept expanding and kept expanding. And when I realized that, you know, like first I had to pretty much I gave up my home. All right. And so by that time it was like I was paying rent in a place that I didn't live in for a year. All right. So for a year. And like after a lot of my things and stuff was coming up stolen or whatever, it was like I didn't feel like that place was home anymore. Didn't feel secure anymore. I didn't know if I could go back there anymore. So I was like, let me just go savage my things. And I was like, and I could save, you know, a little money because of the simple fact that, you know, during the time that I'm not there. So it's like, so now I have the option of basically being able to go anywhere I want to. It's like I don't have to just go back there because I no longer have that home. Okay. And so like grief made me think that I could actually be here and do this for long lengths of time. But see, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I'm a free thinker. I'm a free spirited person. And pretty much there are certain places that, you know, that I need to be. And there are certain places um in terms of art, because in terms of art, like let me tell you this. My reason for choosing to move to Virginia, because I had several options. I didn't want to go back to Atlanta because in the industry that I work in is oversaturated. There are art colleges there. A lot of times when these people graduate, they don't leave, they stay there. And even though, you know, there's a lot of work there for the in the media industry, it's oversaturated and it's high competition because of the music industry and a lot of the entertainment industry, Tyler Perry and stuff like that is there. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity there, but there's also a lot of competition there because there are a lot of art schools. You have AIU, in which I didn't go to that. When I went to a portfolio program, um, 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 Atlanta College of Art, which is Atlanta College of Art. But at any rate, I chose not to go. I was like, well, maybe it's not a good idea to go back there. And so one day I heard a live stream with Oh No, and Oh No was talking about how DC is an art district. Okay, I do art exhibits. I sell art through art exhibits and stuff like that. So that's very important. So that was one of my decisions. But my main decision was the fact that of my contract employee, their base is there. Okay, and when in mental health or with a lot of different programs, state programs and stuff like that, it depends on funding, and different states are funded differently depending on need. So there are some areas that have more funding than others, meaning they have more programs than others. Just like here where I'm currently located, there are not there's barely any programs compared to where I worked before. And I could work here, I could work anywhere nationwide, but there are hardly any programs here. Okay, so therefore the work is limited. The work is limited. And there's when you talk about the main location, the hub, the majority of the work is going to be there. So the majority of the programs are going to be there. So it's like more work. So I'm like, okay, that's my major decision for moving to Virginia, because that is the primary location, because it's an art district. It's a city. I like living in cities. I'm not so good about, I'm free spirited, free thinking. I like to float. I like to discover. I like to do things. So, Virginia has all of those things. More, like more work. It's artsy. It's perfect for, like the things that I'm trying to do. I looked at several areas, and, basically because of my job, it was like, the best bet. And I like it there. I've been there several times, due to my job and going to training and different things there. And I like it there. Plus, if you're there on the spot, it's like they'll use you quicker as a contracted employee if you're there on the spot, and they don't have to pay for your hotel, they don't have to pay for your travel. That's another thing that get more work, because you're less expensive. They don't have to pay for you to travel back and forth because you're already there. So it wasn't just based on like, she's trying to say I'm moving there trying to be homeless for a relationship. No. And there's a difference between transition. Okay, let me tell you this. I have a disability. I have post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, and because of my disability, I qualify for Section 8. Okay, I have not had to be on any housing programs because I've always been able to afford the rent. However, when you move to a different location, when you move, and the cost of living is a lot higher in Virginia. Okay, so it's like, I'm not sure. And I'm the type of person, I like to have a plan A, plan B. I want to be secure. I'm trying to make a smooth transition. So like by getting on Section 8, it would cushion me. It would be a security, because I wouldn't have to worry about the stress of coming up with out of the pocket rent, because I was told, I asked several people while I was there, and they said the average cost of rent is about $1,000. They said that most people had to get a second job just to be able to afford everything, the housing, rent, utilities, and all of that. Okay, so like I don't want to be put under that type of pressure. I would rather, it be more. I would rather be more secure and more comfortable. So like I looked at the Section 8 in housing, and since I qualify, it would be a perfect time, because it would give me the opportunity of getting there. And when even though like I don't have to get a second job or anything. I have my own business, but like when you're relocating and when you're trying to reestablish, because basically what I'm doing is starting all over again. So when you're trying to starting all over again and reestablishing, especially reestablishing your clientele with business and stuff, it takes time. And that's a lot of stress to, like to have to depend on that income at the same, to try to depend on that income, as well as like having to make a certain amount every month to make sure you can cover your expenses. So if I reduce my expenses, just like in business, the lower your overhead, the more profit you're able to make and the less stress you'll have. So it's the same thing. It's like lowering my overhead so that I will be able to have less stress. I can focus more on, building my clientele there, and and getting where I need to getting where I need to get a lot faster. Okay, so I talk to, like, I work in mental health, and they have different programs and stuff through mental health where people, they have allocated funds and stuff like that. Just like my job, a part of one of their programs is they handle housing for mental health. Now, they don't run it, they manage it, which means they don't dictate. They're dictated. They're giving the money and they're told what to do. So they can't just do what they want to do. You have to still meet all the criterias and stuff. Okay, now one of the like when I talk to the person that I from my job that runs the housing program, one of the things that they told me was that they were like, yeah, the only problem that they may foresee, they said may foresee, with some of the programs and stuff that I might qualify for or whatever, different umbrellas under the housing programs, because it's different umbrellas. The one of the requirements is residency. You have to have established residency, which means that you have to have lived there for a length of time. Okay, so that so that could be a problem. And he also said that there's a way around that, and basically the way around that is transitional. And what transitional is, it's not homeless. It's not homeless. It's like transitional, like for mental health, it's like for people who are like in recovery, and recovery doesn't mean anything. A lot of people think when you say recovery that you're saying from drug or alcohol abuse. No, recovery is anytime you're just like, for instance, there's like some things there's no cure for. So like when you're doing well, they call that the recovery process. It doesn't matter if you, just like for instance, if you have a surgery and and you have a surgery or something, during the process after the surgery, that's called recovery. Also, and they're even talking about changing that because a lot of people get that confused with drug and alcohol. So I want to clarify that as well. It's for people who are in recovery, which means that people who are doing well, people who are able to maintain on their own, people who are independent, things of that nature. So he basically told me about transitional living. He said that's an option because you'll be able to establish residency, and the more independent and stuff you are, the faster you go, because it's not a permanent situation. Like it's like they have a houses, apartments, and different things like that. Like Miss Pat doesn't live in a nursing home. She lives in assisted living. She lives in an apartment. And so these are apartments and stuff, but they're not designed for people to live there forever. They're designed for people to live there. Only you can come and go, everything as you please. They're only designed for people to transition into their own. Because like one of the things you have to think about in terms of moving, just like if they called me today and said, okay, you're qualified, you're ready for Section 8, come on, find your place. Okay, now even then I have to find a place, because not all landlords take Section 8. So I have to know the landlords and stuff that take Section 8. Now, through the transitional program, they have people, case managers, people who know the area. This stuff comes to them. So they have all those resources. So they can give me a list and say, hey, these are some places. And I go check them out. If I like it, bam, they do the inspection, bam. So it's just like if they say that you qualify, you don't move in the next day. It might take a month for you to move in, find a place and be able to move in it. And then you got to it's utilities and what utility company to use. There's a lot of different things. And see, through transition and stuff, they help walk you through that process. So they make your transition a lot smoother. And there's different reasons why people they have transition programs, and it's like not due to people being, just like for instance, when the people got misplaced during Katrina, like when their houses and stuff were torn up, the FEMA, like they didn't have enough places, so they had to have the FEMA trailers or whatever. And the FEMA trailers were basically transitional types of places where they were not designed to live there forever. It was just them to be there until they found a place and they got, to the point where they were comfortably on their feet. Because like you have to pay for it's like, for instance, if I did this on my own without the transitional, in which, it's just an option. It's just an option because I do have an option that I don't have to go through the transition and I don't have to have the established residency. But if I go that route, I have to pay for a hotel during the entire time that I'm there to find a place. And no, there's no telling how long that'll take until I get the utilities and all of this stuff on. Uh, um, um, and all of this stuff on, even if they would have called me and say, you qualify, come sign the paperwork, come find your place right now today. So you have to look at all of those things. So, that's what I was looking at. Like, I'm trying to have a smooth transition from one state to the next. I'm trying to, make it a smooth transition. So that when even though it wasn't, like I told her, it wasn't a set in stone that I would do a transitional. I was just like, it's an option. And really, to be honest with you, I sort of like that option because I don't know a whole lot about Virginia. And, and there's people there helping me. It would be people helping me versus, and, it'd take longer to be harder if I had to do it on my own because, like I would have to go around, look down the list on maybe the housing through the newspaper and stuff. And I have to call these people, do you accept Section 8? And things of that nature, whereas somebody passed you a list, somebody even taking you around, even though I have transportation and everything, I have my own car, they even would take you around, according to what he said, to different places to see if you like it. So that also gives me a chance to get to know the city or to get to know like these different areas and stuff because I'm fresh and new there. So like it was an option, and it's transition and not homeless. And like I said, transition, people who like come out of domestic violence situations who have to leave their home, basically they go into a transitional type of situation until they're able to find a home. People from the, like after Katrina, like when natural disasters, there are a lot of different reasons. And the reason, like, it's not a homeless shelter. It has nothing to do with homelessness. It could be that somebody actually has a for some reason or other, they have to transition from one spot to the next, put it that way. So it's nothing to deal with homeless, although sometimes they like if you have a home, they're not going to be so quick to try to put you into another home unless it's a danger or a threat or something of that nature. I'll put it that way. So they do use the terminology sometimes in terms of dealing with programs homeless, but they don't mean homeless like you're homeless. They mean like if there's a fire and you have to like fire and Red Cross put you in a hotel or something like that. And, you have to find another place. Okay. So sometimes, like there are different factors that play in. And instead of you paying for a hotel, a lot of times people will be put in transitional houses, transitional apartments and different things like that until they're able to find a place, get on there, and get in there and, they're able to maintain. So it's like a safe option. It's like a safe option. And like I don't have to do it, but just listening to it and listening to the options and stuff like that, it's like I qualify. Why not? Why not get the help? Why not get the security? Why not? Why not? I qualify. Why not? I've never had to, but it's like why not? And it would just make it a more smooth transition, comfortable transition. So, like I'm not moving. I didn't decide to move to Virginia, for a relationship, for just because of VS. I chose to move there for several different reasons. I like it. The base of my contract employee, my job is there, and it's artsy. It has everything that pretty much I need to be able to just go ahead and bounce back and get back on to get back to being successful. So that's why I chose it. I chose it for my own personal reasons. Plus, I have family there on the East Coast. I'm always choosing a place where my family is. So I just wanted to clear up that misconception. And y'all know I'm not homeless now. I wasn't homeless even before I got here. Before I got here, I've always had my own place. And when I moved there, like I can move on my own, but it's just easier. Like if I can get help, why not? Why not get help if you can get it? Why not get help if you can get it? I don't understand. I don't understand. I qualify. It would benefit me. I wouldn't be trying to do things permanently or anything like that, but it would just be of a help. So that's why I chose to do it, and nothing less, nothing more. Now I don't know what all else was said, because like I said, a lot of times I look at titles, but I don't listen to all of the, everything. I protect my energy. I do not like to put a lot of negativity into my brain. I try to keep my mind clear and keep my stress level down or whatever. But like I said, when people are, telling false narratives and using you for content and different things, it's only fair that, I come back and I address those things. So I'm gonna look through the chat. And if it's anything, if y'all listen to the video and it's anything else that I need to address, y'all just let me know, because like I said, I didn't listen to the whole video. And I know some of, I know BB, shout out to BB, and thank you very much. I really appreciate what she did yesterday by doing the interview. I think she did an exceptional job. And I heard that, she was brought up as well. And I don't know what was said about her. But yeah, yeah, like I don't even know what to say. But just I'm gonna go down the chat and stuff and see what y'all saying. If there's anything else that I need to address, y'all have any questions about anything, I'm gonna answer. Let me know. That's all I can, pretty much say. Okay, so I'm trying to roll back up here to the top. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I know some people like some people, it doesn't matter what you like. It's some people out there, and you have a lot of haters when you're great. And one of the things, my name is rolling all around here, and a lot of people want to try to they love the negative spin and they want to put the negative narrative, because why would people want to do that? Okay. So when people think you're great, a lot of times, and they don't feel like they could be great, a lot of times they love to hate, they love to hear the negativity, they love to spread the negativity, and that's only because they're insecure within themselves. We know how that works, because other than that, people wouldn't do it. And so when you have haters, then that means that they see a lot of great things in you. So just the fact that people are willing to do, like, people are doing that or whatever, it right there states that like they see something great within me. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because people don't pay people, they otherwise they wouldn't be paying me any of the attention, or they just wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Okay, Q, at this point, how VS is. Yeah, I do. And yeah, she'll change the, yeah, I don't know why she does that, or why it's so important to change the narrative or whatever, but that's why I'm coming back and I'm telling I'm just telling the correct story. I'm telling it how it is, because I noticed that even like when I stayed quiet or didn't pay it any attention, I noticed that it still remained, it still went on. And I know some people are going to be ignorant. Some people are crabs in a barrel. They just want to, they just want to, try to bring you down or pull you down or something like that. They want people to look at you in a negative light or whatever. And they're, because they're miserable, or they don't feel so good or so secure about themselves. And I'm not, I'm talking about people in general, like, that repeat these things. So I know some people are going to, say it anyways, but as long as I say it, it came out the horse's mouth, because there are people out here with sense. There are some people who knew off top that it wasn't true, because they're able to read between the lines, or they're able to think for themselves. And, they saw, when they heard the story, they could easily add it up, and say, oh, that makes sense. Like especially people who deal with housing, and people who deal with Section 8, and people who deal with nonprofits and different organizations, in terms of housing and stuff like that. They know, like, because let me tell you this, also, when you're dealing with housing in certain areas and stuff like that, the waiting lists are long. It takes you a long time just to be able to get on their waiting list. And luckily, I don't have that problem I don't have that problem. But another thing, the reason why I even looked at that at the time, transitional housing at the time as well, is because it speeds you up, because they have to get you in there and out of there real quick. So, you know, it speeds the process all the way up. So like it's smart to go that route. Yeah, yes, when you Jadon said yes, when you are quiet about things, people believe the other person because the person is the only one doing the talking, right? And that's what it's I saw that, you know, people weren't thinking and they were just going with it anyway. So I said, well, like if somebody's gonna be monetizing off of me, I might as well monetize as well and at the same time I'm gonna tell the correct story. Yeah, I'm gonna tell my own story. Independent, uh, independent. Well, independent contractor at my job. At my job, they call it a contract employee. Now, like some places might call it an independent contractor as well, but at my job, they call it a contract employee. Like on when I get paid on my checks, it says, you know, it's classified as contract employee. Right. It's like you're working. Yeah, you it's like you're self-sufficient. I make the shots. You know, I love it. And that's what I'm saying. Like before I was doing great. There's no better situation than to be a contract employee. And especially if you're in a place where you know that work is going to be there and you have that option. So it's like I'm you know, I'm trying to secure my future. Plus I there's one more level up. I'm a national trainer, okay? I'm a national trainer for my job, which means I'm a national trainer for my job. And there's one extra step up in terms of a promotion that I want. And so by me moving there, I'm going to be more likely to get that because they've already like offered it to me. So by me moving there, I'm going to be more likely to get that next step up where I'll be able to travel and I'll be able to be a national, international trainer instead of just a national trainer. So like, you know, you know, I'm shooting for the stars and they have more programs. So there are more certifications that I could get because with these certifications, they belong to me, even though they pay for them and I um, get them through them. I'm able to go work and work wherever with them because the certifications belong to me. So what else could you ask for? You know, like you're getting what else could you ask for? So I'm getting all that I can. I'm maximizing getting all that I can, whether I use them or not. They belong to me. I have those. That's another one other additional option that I have. So you know, I'm shooting for the. I always shoot for the stars. I always like to go to the top. You know, I'm always trying to go to the next level. I'm never like. It's like I'm always trying to go to the next level. You know, I feel like if somebody else did it, I could do it too. Now I'm not worked up because at the end of the day, it don't matter. It's just that I quickly learned that, you know, that might as well start addressing it, you know, and I might, if somebody's going to tell my story, it might as well be me. I'm the only person who knows my story. I'm the only worst person that could tell my story accurately. And when people are changing the narrative on your story, I'm going to come back and change it. You know, I'm going to come back and say it the right way. Yeah, Jay Dunn said, right. Also, when you are paid to travel, the company has to pay per diem, right? And you know, and I love that. Ain't nothing better than that. And this is great. The per diem is great. They pay for hotel, they pay for your travel, they pay for the they pay for the per diem, and so. But I'm a national trainer, so that means I could go anywhere within the United States. So if I become an international travel trainer, that means that they will pay me to go internationally. And who's going to turn that down? Who is going to turn that down? Really? I get to go places and stuff on their penny. I get to go internationally on their penny. Right. Exactly. Melissa Ultra said transitional housing is not considered homeless. Melissa Ultra also said recovery can be physical, mental, etc. Recovery means you are on the road to improvement, right? Or you are in improvement because with certain diagnosis, you're always going to have that diagnosis. Some stuff is not curable. Like in the mental health field, there are some things that are not curable. They're treatable. they're not curable. So even if you've done well for 50 years, even if you've done well for 50 years, they're not going to say you're cured. They're going to say you're in recovery. That's just the term. That's just how they term it. So that's just how they term it. Okay, the real Queen Royalty Lives says, if you're not from the DMV area, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of the jobs there are contractual work. VS knows this. She's spinning a false narrative. Yeah, and well, I love contractual work. Like when I was granted the opportunity, and since I've done it, I love it. I love my job, and that's why I want to, I want to do more of it, and that's why I want to be there, and that's why I like who I work for, the whole 9 yards. So I love being a contract employee because, like, owning your own, owning your own business is perfect. It's like I have substantial income as well as I'm in control of my time where I could be able to focus on my business. Just say, like, it's like if you have a 40-hour-a-week work job, if you have to report somewhere every day or whatever, and you're trying to own your business, and just say you get a lot of, like, if there are certain times when things are going on, when you might have an overload of work coming in for your own personal business. And so if I have an overload of work coming in, I can focus on my business instead of like having to worry about going in versus like, and if I don't have an overload and they call me, I can go in. So it's like it's perfect for what I do. It's like it's cushion. It's just like housing or whatever. It's cushion. It's like, it's cushion. It provides a safety. It provides a blanket. It provides security. So, I can't beat that. Melissa Ocha says, I agree. Always spinning those narratives for clicks and views while QI over here being authentic and sincere. Thank you very much. No nonsense in the building. Hello. Quit playing in my face. Hello. Quit playing in my face says they don't have Section 8 where you stay. They do have Section 8 here. And when I first got here, that was one that I thought about that. I thought I could stay here. I thought I was going to like staying here. But it's like, there's not a lot of programs and stuff here. There's not a lot of programs and stuff here, and things here, like, are slower because this is a traditional place. Most people are passed down homes. It's like a lot of stuff. So there's not a great need here. And when I first got here, I checked into like Section 8 or whatever, and they were saying it takes 2 years just to get on the waiting list to wait. So, I'm like, wow, and like, even here, like, we own land, so I didn't even have to have Section 8 here. I could have went and got a trailer. But like I said, when I was in grief, the option of staying here seemed good. But after being here and after coming out of grief and getting a more clear head, I realized that I'm not going to be happy here, for more than one reason. Just like, for instance, like, I'm still going to take a hand and part in taking care of my grandmother. But it's like, when I'm in a different state, I'm not as accessible. I'm like I'm one of them people that everybody comes to because I'm dependable. And if I'm accessible, they're not going to try to do things for themselves. But if I'm unaccessible, they have no other choice but to do things for themselves. And that gives me room to do things for myself as well. And that, so like, I know I have to, basically separate myself by states to be inaccessible. And at the same time, I have the choice of being able to say, okay, I'm going to take, it's my turn. I could come and I could do 3 months or something with my grandma, then go back home. I'm not going to make the mistake that I did before by just giving up, like, automatically, because I'm responsible. So I automatically just stepped up to the plate and started doing it. And I didn't realize I was making a mistake, because once everybody saw that I had stepped up to the plate, they, they felt that they didn't have to do it. They felt that they didn't have to do it. So, it's time for me to make my family step up, because my grandma still has a daughter and she has other grandchildren as well. And it's not fair that I be the only person giving up and sacrificing my life and my goals and my, future, when they're, the responsibilities should be spread around. So, and this is not my first time having to do it. I mean, like, After my mom passed, I stayed around. I basically helped raise my niece. And I realized that to allow my sister to go to school and go to school. So I'm talking about I'm dropping my niece off at school. I'm picking her up. I'm helping her with her homework. I'm giving her a bath. All of that. It's like I have become my niece's mom. And one of the things I wanted my niece to be able to establish a relationship with her mom. So after my sister got to a place where she had finished school and these things, I noticed she would try to start something else, and I'm like, nah. After I saw that, like basically it was almost a situation of her taking advantage of it, I said, okay, you're good now. You're good now. And I up and I left. I up and I left, so that, she would be forced to have to, step into that motherhood, and be, a mom and establish a relationship with my niece. Okay. And Melissa Ocha said, VS is basically fighting to stay home instead of getting a job, getting views to feed her channel off the backs of good people like you. Like, let me tell you something. That's one of the things that she does not realize. She does not realize that, just like, for instance, I was on 15 episodes of The Mess Express. I never once I never got a penny, and I never asked for a penny. When I was over there, I helped. It's like I help because I believe in doing that. I believe in doing that. I believe that we all should help each other, and I help. So it's like you don't have to steal, you don't have to take. If you talk to me and we're fair, whatever, we can work things out together. But you don't have to you don't have to do that with me. And I did that, and I did that anyways. Okay. Retro Babes Reloaded said, "You too, sis. I had to take a small break last month. YouTube can be too much. I know." Yeah. You have to definitely uh yeah, YouTube is something else. You have to choose your battles. And like for instance, let me put it this way. Like I said, I didn't even listen to all the video or whatever. I saw the title. Some people gave me a little feedback. Um, a lot of times I don't try to deal with too much negativity, because like it's just like if you get up and the first thing in the morning you do is you start listening to a YouTube video and it's filled with negativity. That's how your day is generally going to go. You taking in those negative vibes, and you have to protect your energy. So a lot of times I don't, like I choose what I listen to, when I listen to it, and the whole 9 yards. So yeah, you have to choose your battles with YouTube. And people don't realize, a lot of people like this, the beef section, but they don't realize that all of this beef and stuff, some of this beef is making people sick, physically sick and stuff like that, because it's a lot of negativity every day. You hear them say like, this person look older than they did a couple of years ago, and it's because of all that negative energy and stuff that they're taking in. And some of these people are going to have severe illnesses and stuff like that, because of the simple fact that they're taking in all this negativity on a daily basis. You have to, you got to do what you got to do for yourself, like. And if you're like, if okay, positive plus a positive equals a positive. So if you want your life to go smooth, if you want your day to go smooth, if you want things to go smooth, you have to try to, keep your thoughts positive. You have to try to be around positive people, places, and things. If you're around negative people, places, and things, whether you're willing or not, that it's going to take over your life. Your life is going to begin to be miserable, and it's going to be negative. So you have to watch what you intake. You have to watch what you do. You have to watch what you're around. You have to watch, different things. If you want a positive life, you got to, you got to try to be around positive things. You got to try to think positive, because you think, therefore you are. So the more positive you think, the more it's called the law of attraction. The more positivity you will draw. Okay. And Melissa Ultra said, "That's right, QI. Why not go live your life? It's your time. After taking care of family members for so long, it's your turn to live a joyful life." Yes, yes, because like it can feel like when you're not able to do, like, I'm an artist, I'm a creative person. Like I had like I had a studio. I didn't have to worry about distractions. So I could get up and I could go in my studio and basically, like I could create, like and and flow. And it makes a big difference. And see, like I'm like some people are caregiving types of people. And even though I'm doing a good job, it's just not who I was meant to be. Therefore, like I don't feel fulfilled. I feel like so empty, like not being able to paint and draw and to go to art exhibits. And I felt great. Like I said, that was the best part of my life. Like before my aunt passed, I was like, it was great. I mean, I money, money wise, success wise, I'm upgrading my business. I'm investing in my equipment. Everything was really smooth. And because of life, I had to pause that. So like it takes something out of me to not, be able to do that and to be missing that aspect of me. So, and like I'm politically involved. There's a lot of things that I do. There's a lot of things that I do. And not being able to do it. Like I'm not getting the fulfillment. That I need. Lisa Jones, like, no, it's not about that. Like, it's not about the help. Like I said, VA is because of my contract, because the job is there and I'll get more work. Okay. And I can get that promotion. All right. And it like it's artsy. It's a historical place. A lot of the historical places, like I looked at several cities, like New Orleans, it's artsy because they preserve history and things of that nature. So there's a lot of opportunity there, but there's even more. There would be even more in Virginia. So I looked at the places that I looked at because I looked at more than just Virginia. I looked at I was even looking at Texas, but I don't think so. But I looked at I didn't want to go back to Atlanta. I don't want to go back to. I want somewhere fresh and new. So I didn't want to go back to, like New Orleans. And so, like I looked at several different options it was, oh no, blame it on oh no then. Because when I think it was oh no, because she was getting on, whoever it was, they got on and they showed a jacket and stuff that they had designed. They weren't the artists themselves. And they showed a jacket that they had designed. And they started talking about how artsy and, like how the art culture was in DC. And that just turned me on. This was way before DC. And may have been way before, like VS, I'm not sure. But that turned me on. I was just like, that turned me on. I was like, wow, because like if you're an artist or you're a creative person, being around that kind of creative energy, being around those type of creative people, being around that, it influences you. It's great. I don't even know how to explain it at this moment. But let me just go ahead and go down the chat. Shout out to Dazzle Me Vic. Shout out to Jacqueline in the building. T Mac in the building. Y Sims is in the building. Hello, miss ya. Well, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. See, y'all, what don't kill you make you stronger, okay? Excuse me 1 minute. My allergy. All right. What don't kill you make you stronger? So, like one of the things I learned about life is that we're living. It's a reason why we're living. And some people never look at why am I here and why am I living? They never try to find their purpose for being here. Okay? And therefore, one of the things that we're here for is we're here to work out, like you're here to work out generally things in this lifetime from your childhood. So you're here to, and one of the things that makes us not successful is fear, false evidence appearing real. So when you learn, and it takes a lot, it's not easy for anyone. No one can say they have no fears. People, no fear. No one can say they have no fear and to, get over your insecurities. We're here to work out things within ourselves. We're here to grow spiritually, like I said, spiritual within ourselves. And when you grow spiritually and you become stronger spiritually and you learn how to do things like handle rejection, to overcome fear. And when you learn how to find and be your true authentic self and your true authentic soul, then you find your happiness, and you're going to be more apt to be successful. So I'm glad that no nonsense brought that up. Our job is like, we're supposed to overcome these things, and we're supposed to even help, like each one teach one, each one help one up. When you get up, you're supposed to reach down and help the next person up, because you've learned how to overcome this in your life. So when you see somebody else struggling with the same thing, you're supposed to, like try to give them some assistance and whatever. That's what the elderly used to do. And and you don't have to be elderly to do it, because even a child can teach you something. But overcoming a lot of these things in our lives is what what brings on our success, what makes us more happy. And learning how to validate yourself, not off of other people, not off of other things, material things and stuff like that, but validate yourself for you, your character, your spirit, and who you are from the inside. And like I said, that's spirituality, and that's what spirituality does. It helps teach you to master yourself. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, like, and being like, there's another statement that they said, you must go through the darkness to get to the light. A lot of times you have to revisit this stuff. You have to go through this stuff to see what happened, to see how to overcome it, to see how it affects you, in order to get on the other side, the freedom. And this is sometimes why we think that bad things are happening. No, bad things are like, those things are put there to help us to learn a lesson. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to grow, because the only way we'll grow is experience is the greatest teacher. So sometimes you have to experience things to grow. So I just wanted to take a minute to say that as well. Yeah, somebody was saying about southern states. Let me get that. Yeah, southern states does not have a lot of opportunity. So in a nutshell, I think I've pretty well gone down, the list. I don't see any questions like there. If there's any questions, I didn't look at the live streams. Y'all saw anything y'all think I need to answer? If y'all saw anything y'all have any questions about, if y'all want to know if it's true or what, here I am. I'm gonna answer them. I didn't see all that live stream, so I don't know what I just saw the title, so I'm pretty much addressing the title. Because I don't like to intake a lot of negativity or whatever. But I just want to go ahead and clear that up, for once and all. Like, it's transitional, not homeless. It's just an option. My reason for like wanting to move to VA like was not for a relationship or for VS, but because of all these other things that like, because of my job, because because of all those other factors as well. Because like, a relationship may not last long, and then what are you going to do then? So, and I'm mature. I'm 40. Like, okay, let me tell y'all this real quick. Even in a relationship, they call lesbians U-Haul lesbians, right? Because they generally move in within 2 weeks. I don't do that, because like when I was younger, I had experience, and I realized that you do, like, I always keep my own house. They keep their own house, and I keep my own house. They can be in my house all the time, or I can be at their house all the time. But if something goes wrong or something doesn't work out, it does not leave you in a bad position. The only way that I would really feel comfortable living with somebody, or is if we're married and both of our names are on the lease. You get it? Because like, the last thing in the world, like, as a stud, like, women trip all the time. Like, really, to be honest with y'all, a lot of this stuff, like with VS and all of this stuff, it goes on in relationships all the time, especially lesbian relationships. This is just another component of what we have to deal with as a lesbian, and dealing, like, with women. All right. The difference is, this happened online. A lot of people, they get mad, they say all kinds of crazy things. And that's another reason why I like to have my house, because I don't like to argue. Because a lot of times you say things that you don't mean. So like, like, sometimes if it gets real heated, if I'm in a relationship and it gets real heated, I'd rather just say, look, I'm going home, because, when you're upset and you're angry, you don't think rationally. I like to, sometimes you got to give each other space, and it's hard to just say I'm gonna stop, and it's hard for them to say I'm gonna stop if you're emotional, and get a clear head, and then talk about it when you're more calm, and you're less emotional or whatever. So a lot of times I'd like to keep my own place, and if things don't work out, I'm not stuck, or they're not stuck. I simply just go to my place and they go to theirs. That's all. So, I'm not just one to, quickly like want to live with anyone. And not even, I'm not one to even too quick to have, like a roommate if I can help not having. And that's another thing that I looked at, and I was like, nah, I don't want to go and have a roommate situation, because I like having my own space. I like having my own peace, and I'm used to that. And that's what I rather do. Yes, why Sims, peace of mind is very, very important, especially as an artist, especially as an artist. And that's one of the things that I miss too by being here. I miss being able to have that. I don't get that. I don't get, like that, I don't get to have that like peace of mind that I used to have, my own place or whatever, because it's like a lot of distractions, there's a lot of distractions and stuff like that. And, I have to, when they come, I have to deal with them. It started as a disagreement between a couple to a full-blown attack. Doing that publicly will always fuel the fire, but this went way too far. Yeah, and then some people don't have a stop button. Some it's like, and that's what I mean. That's why I prefer to keep because I dated a woman that was similar to VS, and she didn't have a stop button. It's like when she went from 0 to 360, and the only way to get her to calm down was pretty much I had to close off that phone, go home and not answer them calls for a day or so until she calms down. When she calmed down, she talk with some sense. As long as she was upset, it was going to be crazy. Some people don't like, some people anger gets the best of them. They don't like, anger gets the best of them. And, and in some situations, even though you're trying to remain calm, you can be triggered. And then there you go. People, fighting or whatever. And I don't like to do that, because I feel like, you can say there's sometimes things that you can say that you can't take back. So I don't like to be put in I try not to get myself in a position where I'm angry enough to say stuff that I don't mean, especially like if I can't take it, if I can't apologize or take it back. And there are some things that you can't, like you can say that you can't take back and you can't apologize for. Yeah, they used to call dementia or whatever senile back in the day. But yeah, let me tell you something. One thing you got to learn about, like, my grandma is a whippersnapper. She's a gangster, okay? And here's the thing. She raised me, so she knows how to manipulate me, okay? And so, like, a lot of times, I don't even know how to put it. She's very smart. She wants her way. She's spoiled. I've always, I've always spoiled her because I've always, like loved and appreciated her. And all of her children, pretty much have always, spoiled her, and grandchildren. But here's the thing, like when they know, like, it's like family dynamics. Like sometimes it's easier for a person on the outside to take care of somebody than it is, for like because she's still looking at me like I'm a baby. She's still looking at me like, I'm this little girl, her grandchild, she still holds to that power dynamic. So we have those power struggles and those power dynamics where and even me, it was hard for me to get used to it because it like my grandma has always been the one that, told me stuff, taught me stuff, told me what to do. And then, it gets to a point where you have to, like tell your grandma, and it's weird. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. You have to tell your grandmother what to do. You're taking care of her grandma almost like, I'm taking care of her almost like it's sometimes like she's a child, and it's weird. And it's hard for it takes getting used to on both ends. And, some people never try to they never, like when they get older, like she still is trying to manipulate her way back into being able to drive. I mean, every day I almost have to hear protest about her wanting to go get a job, her wanting to, her wanting to drive and go somewhere. I mean, and she protests real hard. You know what I'm saying? She protests real hard. So, like when a lot of times when people get older and stuff, it's like hard for them to let go of certain things, or hard for them to get used to the fact that they can't do the same things that they used to do. And so like, you have that, like, it's like that struggle. Like, it's like that struggle. It's like, I don't really know how to, how to explain it or whatever, but you have that struggle or whatever. Yeah, I hope y'all liking the live. Thank you, Jay Dunn, on the ones and twos. But at any rate, if there are no other questions or whatever, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope, like, have I addressed everything? I didn't look at the video. If there's anything else that I need to address, just put it under there. Put it under there, and I'll, try to address it, because like I said, this is not about like no going back and forth. You notice I'm not nasty about this and nothing. I'm just like, I'm telling my own story. I'm gonna set the narrative out there right now. Some people just gonna be ignorant. Some people just gonna be ignorant. They're gonna run with the ignorance. That's just because they want to run with the ignorance. But for those people who are more mature and don't like so much black dysfunction and things of that nature, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna set it straight. I'm gonna tell my own story. So I like to say I love all of y'all. Thank y'all for coming and supporting. Like, share, and subscribe. If feel free to leave any comments, any questions in the comments, and I'll try to get to those. Also, like my email, if you want to come on, you want to do some content or whatever, my email is studyc67@gmail.com. As well, me and BB, we were gonna do some commentary about the Flame Monroe, a lot of the things that Flame Monroe said and the effects of it, and and break it all the way down on the Breakfast Club today. However, after this came up, it's like I need to, I need to handle this, because like I said, it's not, I don't want other people to get dragged into stuff. I don't want other people to get attacked. I don't want other people to get attacked, and like I tried to avoid it, but I just, I've learned, and I know now that I have to do this, and I'm trying to do it the best way possible. All right, so peace, love, and hair grease. Yeah, exactly, Retro Babe. All right, well, email me drunk, and we'll set it up. No problem at all. You can do that. Just email me. I don't know if BB Nice is in the building, but thank y'all for passing out BB Nice's channel. Jay Dunn, drop your channel down too. DC Kool-Aid, drop your channel. Any content creator, go ahead and drop your channel and stuff. D Cop, I don't know why I always say DC Cop. D Cop, go ahead and drop your channel. Peace, D Cop. I'm glad you're in the building, bro. Drop your channel, D Cop. Any content creator, whatever, drop your channels, y'all. Because like, it's all about us, and support each other. It's all about supporting each other. If we all support each other, we're gonna do good. We'll do great. So like I said, y'all, like, love, peace, and hair grease. Thank y'all for support, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. I'm gonna give y'all a little music to go out on, because like, you bring in a vibe. We want to bring it in on a smooth vibe, and we want to leave out on a smooth vibe. And music is universal, so I'm gonna play a little music for us to mellow out and smooth out. And until next time, and peace. Here we go. We